Students, today our topic is inductive effect in the syllabus of plus 2 science first year organic chemistry. Inductive effect is an important concept that will be applied in second year syllabus, in second year organic chemistry highly. Second year organic पढ़ेला बेले every class रे inductive effect apply होबो, so listen carefully. First year भाभी कि आपको neglect करनी, inductive effect न जानिले पूरा organic chemistry अबुझा अंधारिया लागिबो. So please listen carefully about inductive effect. To understand inductive effect clearly, we have to understand two terms, electronegativity and dipole moment. So what is electronegativity? Electronegativity is the tendency of an atom to attract the bond pair of electrons present in a covalent bond. So look at, it is the tendency to attract a bond pair of electrons present in a covalent bond. So consider about HCl molecule. Here a covalent bond is present in between H and Cl. So let this is represented by the covalent bond. This covalent bond contains one pair of electrons, one electron from hydrogen atom, other electron from chlorine atom. Now these are called bond pair of electrons. These bond pair of electrons को hydrogen रो nucleus भी निज आडू attract करिबो, chlorine रो nucleus भी निज आडू attract करिबो, because nucleus is positive and the electrons are negative. So hydrogen atom has a tendency to attract this bond pair of electrons. Chlorine atom has a tendency to attract this bond pair of electrons. So this type of attraction of an atom to bond pair of electrons present in covalent bond is called electronegativity. Clearly, electronegativity of an atom कहाँ ऊपर depend करछि? Mainly nuclear charge and atomic size. So if nuclear charge becomes more, tendency of attraction will be more, so electronegativity increases. If atomic size becomes more, then the electron remains at a more distance from nucleus, so tendency of attraction becomes less, so electronegativity decreases. Clearly, nuclear charge बढ़िले tendency of attraction of bond pair of electrons बढ़िबो. So, if nuclear charge increases, electronegativity increases. Atomic size बढ़िले कौन हबो ना bond pair of electrons and nucleus to टिके दूर को चली जिवे. So, if atomic size increases, electronegativity also decreases. So, we have to remember whose electronegativity is more and whose electronegativity is less on comparing between two atoms. Organic chemistry भितरे दुईटा atom भितरे कहार electronegativity बेसी कहार electronegativity कम बहुत दरकार पड़िबो. तेणु आमे कोन मन रखिबा देखो, period रे left to right को move कले what happens? Nuclear charge increases, atomic size decreases. Nuclear charge बढ़ी के जीवो, atomic size कमी के जीवो. If periodic table रो period रे हमें left to right को move करिबा, so nuclear charge बढ़ुची माने कौन करूची ना attraction बढ़ुची, electronegativity बढ़ुची. Atomic size कमुची माने भी कौन हबो electronegativity बढ़िबो. So both factors electronegativity बढ़ुची. So periodic table रे left to right को move कले we can say electronegative value increase, En value increase. So carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine एमानकर electronegativity value compare कले clearly आसुची carbon रो nitrogen more, nitrogen रो oxygen more, oxygen रो fluorine is more. So electronegativity increase. Similarly, group रे if we move from top to bottom, in group if we move from top to bottom, then what happens? The nuclear charge increases sato, but atomic size also increases, so electronegative value decrease. So if we compare fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, then electronegativity value decreases. En value decreases from fluorine to chlorine, bromine, iodine. En value decreases. Okay. So mainly ये सब जिनस आमको जाना पड़ो कहार इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी मोर एंड कहार लेस. ओके सो मन रख ए तो आम कंपेयर जानीपारे कार्बन रु नाइट्रोजन मोर, नाइट्रोजन रु ऑक्सीजन मोर, ऑक्सीजन रु फ्लोरीन मोर. एठी जानीपारे फ्लोरीन रु क्लोरीन लेस, क्लोरीन रु ब्रोमीन लेस, ब्रोमीन रु आयोडीन लेस. नाउ हियर हाइड्रोजन एंड क्लोरीन, हाइड्रोजन कुआडे अच्छी, क्लोरीन कुआडे अच्छी, ताकू भी कंपेयर करिया डिफिकल्ट. तेणु आमको टिके मेमोरी भितर रखा पड़ो कहार इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी मोर एंड कहार इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी लेस. सो क्लियरली हाइड्रोजन हैज लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी एंड chlorine has more electronegativity. So chlorine will attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself. Okay, so if bond pair is attracted towards chlorine atom, then negative charge induces on chlorine. Let that is minus delta. This much negative charge will induce on chlorine atom, and similar amount of positive charge will also induce on the hydrogen atom. So plus delta charge induces on the hydrogen atom and minus delta charge induces on chlorine atom. Okay, so एमिति charge induce हला atom गुड़ा को ऊपरे. If both ro electronegative same heई थांता, then electron bond pair टा पूरा center रे रही थांता and there is no charge development on any atom. Because electronegativity different है गला, so bond pair will attract towards more electronegative atom and negative charge will create on more electronegative atom. Equal amount of positive charge will create on less electronegative atom. This will develop a dipole moment in HCl molecule or HCl bond. Okay, now come to the term, what is dipole moment? Okay, what is dipole moment means, look at two equal and opposite charges placed close to each other without contact forms a dipole, electric dipole. What is an electric dipole? Two equal and opposite charge किछि दूर रे प्लेस हेबे सेमानक भितर कोन से टच रहिबनी ताले दैट इज कॉल्ड इलेक्ट्रिक डाइपोल. लेट दैट डिस्टेंस टा होछि L. Okay, that is electric dipole. Let that distance is L. So this electric dipole possesses some amount of dipole moment which is a vector quantity, and magnitude of this dipole moment, magnitude of the dipole moment is magnitude of any charge plus or minus into distance between two equal and opposite charges, that is the length L. Product of this magnitude of one charge and distance between two charges is called dipole moment and represented by symbol mu or P. Okay, so dipole moment is a vector quantity whose magnitude is this. Then what is the direction of dipole moment? Look at students, again a very interesting thing. This direction of dipole moment is different in physics books and also different in chemistry books. Dipole moment ର direction ଟା physics ବହି ଗୁଡାରେ ଅଲଗା ଦେଇଛି, chemistry ବହି ଗୁଡାରେ ଅଲଗା ଦେଇଛି. ତେଣୁ କିଛି differ କରୁନି, final conclusion ସବୁ ସେୟା ଆସୁଛି. ତେଣୁ physics ବହିରେ ଯେମିତି ଦେଇଛି ଆମେ physics କ୍ଲାସରେ ସେମିତି discussion କରିବା, physics ଖାତାରେ ଲେଖିଲା ବେଳେ ସେମିତି ଲେଖିବା. chemistry ବହିରେ ଯେମିତି ଦେଇଛି chemistry କ୍ଲାସରେ ଆମେ ସେମିତି discussion କରିବା, chemistry ଖାତାରେ ଲେଖିଲା ବେଳେ ସେୟା ଲେଖିବା. final conclusion ଟା ବହୁତ ରାସ୍ତାରେ same ଆସିବ. Okay, so in chemistry books, direction of dipole moment is given from positive charge to negative charge, but in physics books, direction of dipole moment is given from negative charge to positive charge. पूरा फिजिक्स बही रे एवरी केस रे डायरेक्शन ऑफ डायपोल मोमेंट इज टेकन फ्रॉम नेगेटिव टू पॉजिटिव चार्ज केमिस्ट्री बुक गुडा करे एवरी बुक रे एवरी ऑथर डायरेक्शन ऑफ डायपोल मोमेंट इज टेकन फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव सो रिमेंबर डायपोल मोमेंट इज a vector quantity whose magnitude is this much and direction is from positive to negative here in HCl molecule charge is induced एमती charge induce हेबा जोगु सेथिरे डायपोल रो सिचुएशन आसिला so a dipole moment develop and we say the molecule is polar. This much knowledge about electronegativity and dipole moment is highly essential to understand inductive effect. Okay. Now pause the video and write the note. Now pause the video and write the note. Now pause the video and write the note. Now let us enter into inductive effect. So inductive effect is defined as the displacement of sigma bond electrons along a carbon chain towards more electronegativity atom. Just now हमें डिस्कशन कले more electronegativity atom bond pair of electron को रिजल्ट को अट्रैक्ट करिवो जदि एमिति का सिचुएशन comes in a carbon chain formed by carbon atoms then what happens this chlorine is more electronegative than carbon so this bond pair of electrons will attract towards chlorine and chlorine upre minus delta negative charge create habo carbon upre plus delta positive charge create hala now look at very important first to understand this is inductive effect means it is the movement of it is the displacement of sigma bond electrons sigma bond bhitar thiba electron gudikara displacement habo kuade towards more electronegative atom so emiti displacement hele chlorine upare negative charge create hela carbon upare positive charge create hela also inductive effect kahuchi this bond pair chlorine adgo displace hela bele this bond pair ta be automatically this carbon atom adgo displace haba jeta bele this bond pair of electrons ta chlorine adgo displace haba seta bele this bond pair ta be carbon adgo displace haba this bond pair ta be this carbon adgo displace haba this bond pair ta this carbon adgo displace haba एमती इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी मोर जो एटा डिस्प्लेसमेंट हैला एटा डिस्प्लेसमेंट हेले चेन रे एवरी बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स भी सेवलिटी के डिस्प्लेस हेबे बाकी इफेक्ट टा एठी मोर हबो एई कार्बन एटम गुडा कर इफेक्ट टा टिके लेस हेई जिवो सो दिस कार्बन ऊपर जेति की पॉजिटिव चार्ज क्रिएट हेची दिस कार्बन ऊपर ताटो टिके कम क्रिएट हबो ताको हम प्लस डेल्टा डेल्टा लिखुचे एंड दिस कार्बन एटम ऊपर आउ टिके कम क्रिएट हबो ताको हम प्लस डेल्टा 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 लिखुचे दिस कार्बन एटम ऊपर चार्ज क्रिएट हबो प्लस डेल्टा 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 जेहेतु बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन गुडा डिस्प्लेसमेंट एमिति चलीला तेणु ऑटोमेटिकली एवरी कार्बन ऊपर पॉजिटिव चार्ज क्रिएट हबो बट फर्स्ट कार्बन ऊपर जेति की पॉजिटिव चार्ज क्रिएट हेची एगुडा टिके लेस लेस क्रिएट हे आसीबो एंड दिस विल बी द सिचुएशन this is called inductive effect and due to this inductive effect polarity is developed in a molecule and also this inductive effect is a permanent effect means this molecule re chlorine jodi achi ba more electronegative atom jodi achi tahale this effect will present always so it is a permanent effect okay now pause the video and write the note Students, inductive effect is two types, negative inductive effect, positive inductive effect. Negative inductive effect, shortcut minus I effect. Positive inductive effect, shortcut plus I effect. So, what is the meaning of minus I effect? Now, an atom or a group of atom, if attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself, then it is called minus I effect. Means if an atom or a group of atoms attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself. For example, if we take a compound like this, then this chlorine atom has a tendency to attract this bond pair of electrons towards itself. So we say chlorine possesses minus I effect, and this effect of attraction of the bond pair of electrons towards a chlorine atom is minus I effect. Now what is plus I effect? It is the tendency of an atom or a group of atom to repel the bond pair of electrons away from itself. For example, consider a compound like this, Cl, H, and this is any R group, alkyl group. This alkyl group has a tendency to repel this bond pair of electrons away from itself. This alkyl group will repel the bond pair of electrons away from itself. एठी जो bond pair of electrons present अछि ताकू away from itself, निज ठारू away को push करे, that tendency is or that effect is called plus I effect. So very simply, minus I effect is the tendency to attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself, and plus I effect is the tendency to repel the bond pair of electrons away from itself. Okay, now here what happens? Automatically here will be minus delta charge, here will be plus delta charge. So polarity develops, there also polarity develops. Now these are very important in the upcoming chapters. Here we have to remember little bit को माने minus I effect देखांती और को माने plus I effect देखांती. So look at plus I effect is very easy. All alkyl groups possess plus I effect. Okay, alkyl groups means CH3 is an alkyl group, C2H5 is an alkyl group, C3H7 is an alkyl group. The general formula is CnH2n plus 1. These are the alkyl groups. We say methyl, ethyl, propyl, etc. Now, what are the group of atoms or atoms possessing or developing minus I effect? All halogens develop minus I effect. OH, functional group of alcohol, develop minus I effect. NH2, amine, NO2, nitroalkane, only O. These are the atoms or group of atoms developing minus I effect. This is very important in the upcoming chapters. Okay, now look at, if we consider a compound like this, Cl, CH3, CH3. So due to chlorine minus I effect, the bond pair will shift or attract towards chlorine. Due to CH3, it will move away from CH3 because CH3 possesses plus I effect. Similarly, this CH3 also develops a plus I effect, so it will move away from CH3, the bond pair. Similarly, due to this CH3, the bond pair will move away from CH3. Here the CH3 develops or possesses plus I effect, this CH3 plus I effect, this CH3 plus I effect, but this chlorine is minus I effect. These are the very simple cases of plus I effect and minus I effect. Now we will discuss what is the applications of this inductive effect. दिस इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट जो ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री रे कौन किछि चेंजेस होछि कौन एप्लीकेशंस अछि से गुडा हम डिस्कशन करबा नाउ pause the video and write the note. Now important characters of inductive effect. This inductive effect we discussed. What are its important characters? First thing we have already discussed, this effect develops in sigma bond only but does not develop in pi bond. For example, if we consider C double bond O as in ketones, this O will develop minus I effect, bond pair of electrons will be attracted towards oxygen. Only sigma bond pair of electrons will be attracted towards oxygen. Displacement of sigma bond electrons develop inductive effect. But pi bond electrons are not displaced during this process. So only displacement of sigma bond electrons takes place. The other thing is this effect is permanent because कंपाउंड भितर यदि O अच्छी निश्चित भाव बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स टा ऑक्सीजन आडे अट्रैक्ट हेकी रहइबो सो दिस इफेक्ट इज परमानेंट एंड आल्सो नॉट इरिवर्सिबल फॉर एग्जांपल एई कंपाउंड कथा हम यदि चिंता करिबा CH3HHCl तले क्लोरीन विल अट्रैक्ट द बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स टुवर्ड्स इटसेल्फ CH3 will repel the bond pair of electrons towards itself. So what happens? जो पर्यंत here CH3 and Cl is present, this displacement is present. They cannot return. ये जो bond pair of electrons टा chlorine are attracted ହେଇची कि CH जो bond pair of electrons टा CH3 to away move करिची, they cannot return back. जो पर्यंत से CH3 Cl अच्छी एवं डिस्प्लेस होकरी रहिबे बुझ परछो सो दिस इफेक्ट इज परमानेंट एंड इरिवर्सिबल इन नेचर नाउ क्लियरली दिस इफेक्ट डेवलप्स polarity in bond you know very well the another thing is if we take a long carbon chain with an halogen atom then displacement of the pi bond electrons takes place towards chlorine. Also due to this displacement of pi bond electrons takes towards chlorine. Also this takes towards chlorine. Also this pi bond moves towards chlorine. Due to this chlorine, not only one bond pair is attracted towards chlorine, but also subsequent bond pairs. ता परे परे जो बॉन्ड पेयर्स अच्छी लाइन रे दे विल आल्सो अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स क्लोरीन बट दिस अट्रैक्शन टा मैक्सिमम हबो दिस डिस्प्लेसमेंट टा टुवर्ड्स क्लोरीन मैक्सिमम हबो डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑफ दिस बॉन्ड पेयर टिके लेस हबो सेमिति दिस बॉन्ड पेयर डिस्प्लेसमेंट टिके लेस हबो दिस बॉन्ड पेयर डिस्प्लेसमेंट टिके लेस हबो नॉर्मली आमे कोन एज्यूम करूछु थर्ड कार्बन एटम पर फोर्थ कार्बन एटम रे इतने लेस हो जाए जे वी नेग्लेक्ट इट वी थिंक जे आउट डिस्प्लेस हबनी सो द नेगेटिव चार्ज डेवलप्ड ऑन क्लोरीन इफ माइनस डेल्टा द पॉजिटिव चार्ज डेवलप्ड ऑन दिस कार्बन विल बी प्लस डेल्टा इन दिस कार्बन it will be little less that is told plus delta delta in this carbon again out ike come plus delta 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 here out ike come plus delta 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 तो 3-4 कार्बन एटम नॉर्मली 4 और 3 कार्बन एटम पर आमे इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट हो नहीं भली एज्यूम करूछ we neglect the effect of minus I effect plus or plus I effect after 3-4 carbon atoms. These are very important characters of the inductive effect. Okay. Now pause the video and write the note. Now we will discuss applications of inductive effect. Very interesting thing पिला माने applications of inductive effect. मन देगी सुनो very important. Compare the reactivity of CH4 and CH3Cl. One is methane, one is methyl chloride or chloromethane. Which is more reactive? This is the question. So look at to the structure. CH4. Similarly, look at to the structure. CHCl. So here the bonds are in between carbon and hydrogen. You know electronegativity of carbon is nearly equal to hydrogen. So as electronegativity becomes nearly equal, so the bonds becomes non-polar. All are non-polar bonds, so the compound in whole is non-polar. There is no charge development in any carbon or hydrogen. The compound in whole is non-polar. But here look at chlorine develops minus I effect. So bond pair of electrons will attracted towards chlorine. So here minus delta charge will develop. Here plus delta charge will develop. So this becomes polar. This molecule became polar. So obviously now you think which is more reactive? Obviously alkyl halide, polar, positive charge and negative charge are developed on C and Cl. So this will be more reactive. But here no charge develops on any compound. So this is less reactive. So what is the alkyl halides are more reactive than corresponding alkanes. Corresponding alkanes what are very important. Look at CH4 और CH3Cl compare करनी. माने this alkane ru this alkyl halide develop होइछे. These are called corresponding alkyl halides. So if we compare an alkane and its corresponding alkyl halide, then minus I effect develops. Due to minus I effect, what changes takes place? Alkane ta non-polar thila, alkyl halide ta polar he gala, alkane ta less reactive thila, alkyl halide becomes more reactive, and also boiling point alkane ro less thila, boiling point, and alkyl halide ro more hela. These are the applications of minus I effect to compare alkane and alkyl halide. Now pause the video and write the note. Now let us discuss another application. Come to alcohol. You know alcohol? Remember the basic formula of alcohol? General formula of alcohol? ROH. Yes, that is ROH. R is an alkyl group. Now, this ROH is an acid or base. We will go to discuss. So, just I am recalling what is an acid and what is an base. Normally, if a compound releases H plus ion in aqueous solution, then it is an acid. If it is released OH minus ion in aqueous solution, then it is a base. So here ROH there, ROH is present. So from this ROH, H plus ion may release, OH minus ion may release. So if H plus ion release, then it will acid. If OH minus ion release, then it will base. So H plus ion release habo कि OH minus ion release habo जानिबा पाई R bond O bond H. So this oxygen is more electronegative, develops minus I effect. So the bond pair of electrons are attracted towards oxygen. So bond pair of electrons oxygen to attract hale hydrogen upre kon charge develop habo? Obviously positive charge develop habo. ऑक्सीजन ऊपर नेगेटिव चार्ज डेवलप होबो सो दिस ऑक्सीजन रो माइनस आई इफेक्ट H प्लस आयन रिलीज करिबा इजी करूछि दिस आर कोन करिवो दिस बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को रिपेल करिवो टुवर्ड्स ऑक्सीजन एटम सो रिपेल कले दिस रिपेल रो इफेक्ट ला एठी भी पड़िबो एठी भी रिपेल रो इफेक्ट पड़िबो कारण चेन रे ट्रांसफर होची इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट सो दिस आर कोन करिवो हाइड्रोजन ऊपर नेगेटिव चार्ज डेवलप करबो चेष्टा करिवो because R bond pair of electron को push करूची towards hydrogen so alkyl group R hydrogen ऊपर negative charge develop करिया पे चेष्टा करिवो but electronegativity oxygen atom minus I effect दगु hydrogen ऊपर positive charge develop करियो चेष्टा करिवो now it will be an acid or base it depends upon whether this bond breaks easily or this bond breaks easily. If this bond breaks easily, then H plus ion will release. This will be an acid. If this bond breaks easily, then OH minus ion will be released, and this will be an base. Now, actually, here what happens? The capacity or the tendency of minus I effect of oxygen is more than the tendency of plus I effect of alkyl group. अल्काइल ग्रुप आर जेति प्लस आई इफेक्ट दबो ताठारु अधिका माइनस आई इफेक्ट दबो ऑक्सीजन एटम ड्यू टू मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी सो दिस इफेक्ट टा टिके लेस हबो प्लस आई इफेक्ट ऑफ आर टा टिके लेस हबो माइनस आई इफेक्ट ऑफ ऑक्सीजन टा टिके मोर हबो सो दिस बॉन्ड टा अनस्टेबल हबो दिस बॉन्ड अनस्टेबल है कि H plus ion रिलीज हबो सो अल्कोहल बिहेव्स एज एन एसिड डज नॉट बिहेव्स एज एन base. Very important. Alcohol behaves as an acid, does not behave as an base because this bond ta RO भितर थिबा bond ta break हुएनी ताठारु unstable होची OH भितर थिबा bond ta so this bond ta break है कि H plus ion release हुई. Now let us compare the acid character of ROH and HOH, alcohol and water. Whose acid character is more? Water is also an acid. You know, water behaves as acid because water releases H plus. Also, it behaves as a base because it releases OH minus. Now, let us compare the acid character of alcohol and water. Look at here, oxygen minus I effect develop करिवो. Here also oxygen minus I effect develop करिवो. Here R plus I effect develop karibo in alcohol, but in water hydrogen is present. There is no plus I effect in this bond. So look at these are not bonds. Don't confuse. So when we are going to compare alcohol and water, so alcohol plus I effect develop करे. So bond pair of electrons are attracted towards oxygen. Oxygen minus I effect develop करे so bond pair of electrons are attracted towards oxygen. This is the situation in alcohol, but in water only minus I effect of oxygen is there so only this effect is present. Clearly just now discussion कले और minus I effect H plus release easy करिवो R रो plus I effect H plus release difficult करिवो so clearly को which is more acidic clearly को which is more acidic कौन आइडिया उससे माइंड रहे yes water is more acidic alcohol is less acidic because in alcohol the R group develops a plus I effect which has a tendency to decrease the acid character. In water there is no R group, hydrogen is present in place of R, hydrogen do not has a plus I effect so acid character does not decreases. So alcohol is a very weak acid, also less acidic than water. Now pause the video and write the note. Now we discuss another application of inductive effect, relative strength of carboxylic acids. mane pakaao pila mane what is carboxylic acids, what is the general formula of carboxylic acids, The general formula of carboxylic acids is RCOOH. Examples is HCOOH, formic acid. Similarly, next example is CH3COOH, acetic acid. So, if we will show the structure of acetic acid, then this is the structure of acetic acid. More particularly, this is the structure of acetic acid. Now look at another acid. This hydrogen is removed by chlorine. If this hydrogen jagare chlorine likhibi, then this is acid or not? Yes, because acid by COOH group darkar. Here is COOH group. Here is also COOH group. So both are acid. This is acetic acid. Here one hydrogen replacing one chlorine lagla. So this is chloroacetic acid. Now the question is acetic acid or chloroacetic acid. एमानक भितर which is more acidic. तो इमेजिन करो हाइड्रोजन रो प्लस आई इफेक्ट नहीं कि माइनस आई इफेक्ट नहीं, क्लोरीन रो माइनस आई इफेक्ट अच्छी, बाकी सब इफेक्ट समान, एटी भी जहाँ अच्छी एटी भी से अच्छी, ओनली डिफरेंस इज हियर हाइड्रोजन हियर क्लोरीन, क्लोरीन रो माइनस आई इफेक्ट अच्छी, बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अट्रैक्ट करिवो, क्लोरीन दिस बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन निजर अट्रैक्ट करिवो. सो क्लोरीन जदि बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन निज आड़ को अट्रैक्ट करे ताहेले H प्लस आयन रिलीज करवा इजी हबो ना डिफिकल्ट हबो? जस्ट मु कहली माने पकई कह इजी हबो. गुड, इजी हबो. सो क्लोरोएसिटिक एसिड इज मोर एसिडिक देन एसिटिक एसिड. सिमिलरली हियर अनदर क्लोरीन जदि लगेबी देन इट विल बी डाइक्लोरोएसिटिक एसिड. तार एसिड नेचर आ डिके मोर हबो because here another chlorine जदि लगिला तार इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट अधिका हैला. मोर एंड मोर क्लोरीन एटम अटैच हेले बा मोर एंड मोर क्लोरीन एटम हाइड्रोजन को रिप्लेस कले एसिडिक स्ट्रेंथ मोर एंड मोर हे जिवो. सो एसिडिक एसिड रो क्लोरोएसिडिक एसिड रो एसिड स्ट्रेंथ मोर, क्लोरोएसिडिक एसिड रो डाइक्लोरोएसिडिक एसिड रो स्ट्रेंथ मोर हबो. डाइक्लोरोएसिडिक एसिड माने लुक एट 2 हाइड्रोजन रिप्लेस हे की क्लोरीन हला, बाकी सब जमी सेमती रहिला. सो लुक एट दिस क्लोरीन गोटे माइनस आई इफेक्ट डेवलप करिवो एमती, दिस क्लोरीन अनदर माइनस आई इफेक्ट डेवलप करिवो. दिस क्लोरीन कोन करिवो दिस बॉन्ड पेयर को निज आड़ अट्रैक्ट करिवो. दिस बॉन्ड पेयर को निज आड़ अट्रैक्ट कला बेले दिस बॉन्ड पेयर टा भी दिस कार्बन को अट्रैक्ट हेबो, दिस कार्बन को एडा भी अट्रैक्ट हेबो, एडा भी अट्रैक्ट हेबो. दिस अट्रैक्शन टा जमी तीन टा कार्बन एटम पर्यंत इफेक्ट दबो, दिस अट्रैक्शन टा भी चेन रो तीन टा कार्बन एटम सहित इफेक्ट दबो. सो दिस इज डाइक्लोरोएसिडिक जार एसिड स्ट्रेंथ क्लोरोएसिडिक एसिड टू मोर होबो. सिमिलरली दिस हाइड्रोजन पाखरे अनदर क्लोरीन जदि लगे देबी सी एपट आड़ को माइनस आई इफेक्ट दबो, सी बॉन्ड पेयर टा को निज आड़ को अट्रैक्ट कला माने सेटा चेन रे नेक्स्ट 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 ऊपर इफेक्ट दबो. सो सी आउट की एसिडिक कैरेक्टर मोर करिवो. सो एसिडिक कैरेक्टर ऑफ एसिटिक एसिड रो अधिका होची क्लोरोएसिटिक एसिड, ताडू अधिका डाइक्लोरोएसिटिक एसिड, ताडू अधिका ट्राइक्लोरोएसिटिक एसिड. मोर एंड मोर हाइड्रोजन एटम्स बढ़ी बढ़ी की गले एसिड कैरेक्टर भी बढ़ी बढ़ी की जीव. बुझ पारछ क्लियरली? नाउ थिंक अबाउट फॉर्मिक एसिड एंड एसिटिक एसिड, व्हिच इज मोर एसिडिक. So think to the point what we are going to discuss here, comparison between formic acid and acetic acid. This is acetic acid. Formic acid जदि लिखिबी केमति हबो HC double bond O single bond OH. So look at formic acid रे एटी H अछि, acetic acid रे एटी CH3 is present. So CH3COOH acetic acid, HCOOH formic acid. Now the difference is here hydrogen atom, has no plus I effect or minus I effect. Here hydrogen जगह CH3 group जे कि plus I effect develop करछि. So CH3 group कौन करिवो bond pair of electrons को repel करिवो towards carbon. This repel will transfer towards hydrogen. So CH3 group develops plus I effect and repel the electron pair, repel the bonded electron pair towards the hydrogen atom. So release of H plus एठी easy हबो ना difficult हबो? Clearly difficult हबो because bond pair of electrons are moving towards hydrogen atom. Just हम discussion कले minus I effect रे H plus formation easy हबो, plus I effect रे H plus formation difficult हबो. So which acid more हला in formic and acidic? Which acid more हला? Which acid more हला? Yes, clearly formic acid has more strength than acetic acid. Okay students, these are the different applications of inductive effect. फंडामेंटल भी बुझिल, एप्लीकेशंस भी टिके टिके कहली, आगो को पढ़ेला बेले बहुत बहुत एप्लीकेशंस हम. ये एप्लीकेशंस गुड़ाक अगेन एवरी चैप्टर रे आसीबो. अल्काइल हैलाइड चैप्टर रे एप्लीकेशन आसीबो, अल्कोहल चैप्टर रे एप्लीकेशन आसीबो, एसिड चैप्टर रे एप्लीकेशन आसीबो, और लार्ज नंबर ऑफ एप्लीकेशंस आसीबो. सो एवरी क्लास रे इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट दरकार पड़िबो. तनो इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट को भलो रे बुझो. नाउ pause the video and write the note. Okay students, just now I have told you that if a substance release H plus ion in aqueous solution, then it is acid. If it release OH minus ion in aqueous solution, then it is base. Now एमिति भी बहुत सब्सटेंस अच्छी जो मैंने H प्लस आयन रिलीज करंतिनी, OH माइनस आयन रिलीज करंतिनी, बट एसिड एंड बेस र बिहेवियर दियंती. सो टू डिफाइन दोज थिंग्स, another super definition of acid and base is developed by Lewis theory. According to Lewis theory, any substance which can accept a pair of electrons is an acid. Any substance which can donate a pair of electrons is base. Acid base रा दुईटा जाक definition माने रखो. Now we will discuss the application of inductive effect about basic nature of amines. माने पकाओ amines रा general formula कौन? माने पकाओ amines रा general formula RNH2. This is amine. Means nitrogen upare one lone pair of electrons is present. Nitrogen 3 bond करिछि, दुईटा हाइड्रोजन सहित गोटे अल्काइल ग्रुप सहित, बाकी one pair of electrons are present on nitrogen called as lone pair of electrons. Nitrogen can donate this lone pair of electrons to anybody. So amine behaves as a base. Clearly, just now I कहली any body which can donate electron behaves as a base. So amine behaves as a base. Similarly, come to ammonia. Here also one lone pair of electrons. So ammonia also behaves as a base. Now let us compare the base nature of amine and ammonia. तो एटी भी NH2 अच्छी, एटी भी NH2 अच्छी. The difference is in hydrogen atom and alkyl R atom. Hydrogen atom has no plus I effect or minus I effect, but alkyl group has plus I effect. So alkyl group कौन करिवो? This bond pair of electrons को nitrogen आड़ को push करिवो. So if this bond pair of electrons is pushed towards nitrogen, then electron density of nitrogen atom increases. बुझिपारुछ? Electron density of nitrogen atom increases. माने इलेक्ट्रॉन गुड़ाक टिके नाइट्रोजन पाखु जदि आसिला, नाइट्रोजन ऊपर टिके इलेक्ट्रॉन रो डेंसिटी टा इंक्रीज हो ना नहीं. look at classroom रे पिला मानको मो दूर बसैली माने डेंसिटी लेस हला पिला मानको मो पूरा पैक करिक बसै देबी जेमेति कि लिखिबा को भी सुविधा पाइबनी तार मो कोन कहूची स्टूडेंट डेंसिटी मोर हला दूर बसैले कोन कहूची स्टूडेंट डेंसिटी लेस हला. Similarly, this bond pair of electrons when moved towards nitrogen, we say electron density of nitrogen increase. Nitrogen electron density increase हेले सेटा this lone pair of electrons को repel करिवो. नाइट्रोजन ऊपर नेगेटिव चार्ज रे इफेक्ट जदि मोर हैला से कोन करिवो this bond pair of electrons को repel करिवो कारण नेगेटिव चार्ज repel another negative charge. Here there is no such effect, but here there is plus I effect of R group. So plus I effect of R group कौन करे lone pair of electrons को repel करे. So एटी lone pair of electrons donate करिबा easy हुए as compared to ammonia. So basic nature of amine RNH2 is more than basic nature of NH3. Okay. Now pause the video and write the note.